I'm Cristian Gomez. I'm 26 years old. I'm an alumni from Grand Canyon University, a member of Royal Palms Baptist Church, and I recently married to my beautiful wife, Gabby. So my soccer love started really from very early in my life. I grew up in a soccer country, Colombia, in a soccer city, Medellin. Soccer was the tool that we used to interact with each other. It was how I met my best friends, is how, in a way, found meaning in soccer. I started to channel all my energy through it to the point where when I was having a bad day, I knew I could make it better by going out with my friends and playing soccer. I knew if I felt sick and didn't go to school, I still could go to practice because I just knew that I was gonna be okay. Around 10, 12 years old, that's when I knew that I had fallen in love with it and I wanted to pursue a career out of it. So Medellin was a city where soccer was prominent, but back in the 80s and 90s, violence and other things were developing in Medellin, while soccer was an outlet for many. However, neighborhoods that weren't as developed didn't have an opportunity. So a missionary from the United States decided that he wanted to create an opportunity for kids to come play soccer without worrying about financial things. The mission was to create an outlet through soccer to expose youth to the gospel, but not only that, but change their lives and have them turn away from any gangs, violence, drugs, and different things like that. Some of the people that I looked up to, because they were older than me, they literally went from playing in the neighborhood, at a coastal neighborhood, to now going to school in the United States, and I thought it was so cool, and I wanted to be like them. My coach approached me. I was super surprised by it, but he said, hey, we're considering you as somebody that could potentially go to the United States at the end of this year. At first, it looks like all excitement, but then when we started looking into it, what that meant would have been I was going to a private school in the East Coast. At the moment, I didn't know any English or didn't really know the culture, so I knew it was gonna be a huge step of faith. My first week, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make it 2 months. I think I'm gonna miss home so much, miss speaking my language so much that I'm not gonna be able to make it. And there was a lot of doubts in my head. That same year, the Lord met me where I was, and He brought people into my life that were a blessing to me. A lot of them through soccer. Some of my best friends that season were through my teammates. And at the beginning, I couldn't speak to them because we didn't speak the same language, but because we connected through soccer, they were patient with me. They started to teach me words one at a time. They even learned some Spanish from me, and that's how we started to connect, and that's when I started to really fit in. My junior year, my team had a very good season that year, and I had a very good season that year. We qualified for nationals, and we went over to Tennessee to play a big tournament, a big national tournament, and I was named all-tournament for that national. And I started to dream, maybe I can play in college once I graduate. I was able to be accepted and start at Grand Canyon University as a mechanical engineer major. After I wrapped on campus, tryouts were very soon after classes started, and I tried my best, went to tryouts, thought they went well. However, I got the news, you didn't make the team. So my plan after that year was I'm gonna continue to play. I was playing for the second team at GCU, and I continued to work hard. I was getting better. I thought I had a better chance, of course, than my first year. And then about a month or so before tryouts, I was practicing with some of the other guys that were also trying to make the first team. And I tore my ACL, tore my MCL, tore my meniscus, tore everything on my knee. And what that meant is like, I'm not gonna be able to play for the next 14 months. When I first process the fact that I wasn't gonna be able to play anymore, at least for a while, I wrestled with the Lord, because that was the season for me to play. That was the season, that was the key moment for me to go to the next level. And so I just had so many questions, like, Lord, why did you bring me to the United States? Like, why did you bring me out of my family? Why did I leave my language, my culture? There were so many things that I loved that I missed out on. My parents, my sister, my cousins. A lot of times I thought I'm gonna leave them, but I know I'm pursuing a dream. Now that this dream is shattered, I'm 6 years in and I'm thinking, God, why did you waste 6 years of my time when I could have been back home? Instead, I was here pursuing a dream that was just gonna end like this. Just a couple of months before the knee injury, I had a high school teacher reach out and said, hey, I know you're a soccer player, and I have some high schoolers that just love to play soccer, but other than soccer, they don't really have much going on. For them, they don't have many opportunities, lack of resources. Would you be able to be their coach, be their mentor? The kids that I started to coach would come to me once a week, and when they would come, I started to see myself in them 10 years ago. The goal was we're gonna go play soccer, and we're just gonna have some fun. And I knew that's what they wanted. I knew they wanted to play soccer, but I knew they needed something else, deeper than that. And that was the word of Christ. And that was a life with Christ. And that is what led me to know that even if soccer is not in my life, I still have meaning in Christ. And that's all I need. And that's what I want them to know. That's what I wanted them to know at the time. I wanted to know that if soccer wasn't gonna work out for them, and hopefully they did, but if it didn't, there was a bigger meaning to their lives than them being soccer players. The game I grew to love as a young boy in Colombia is still part of my life, and I love every bit of it. To watch, to play, to talk about it. I love getting other people into soccer. But at the end of the day, I realized that God used that love and that passion for a game to redeem it as a platform to tell his story to others. I thought this game was something that God had for me. Then when he took it away, I thought, well, he's gonna take it away, and in a way, it's gonna hurt me more than he ever gave me joy. But it was the opposite. God turned it around and redeemed it to now make it into a platform that I can share his love with others.